Hey everyone, welcome back to the program. I'm excited to announce the return of Awesome Finds. This is a request from my members over on Patreon. They love this series, they missed it. And if you're new to the channel, this is where I talk about individual vinyl releases, new vinyl pickups, talk about the album, do a little review, show off the packaging, the vinyl, that sort of a thing. Now, the records I'm going to be talking about are all right here. And I do have one cassette release, which I'm excited to show you. So let's get into it, starting with the band Resavoir. This is a glorious album for 2023. It's the second self-titled record by Resavoir. This is one part soul, one part jazz, one part hip hop, and one part chill wave, all weaved together expertly to create some very groovy tracks that lend an overall very relaxed vibe, which is perfect for like sunsets or lounging by the pool or stargazing. This is cosmic while at the same time lo-fi. It's largely instrumental, and the last track is this glorious synth piano duet. Feels like retrofuturism from the 70s. This is out now at International Anthem Recording Company on this very striking translucent orange pink vinyl, or as they call it, dust cloud color. So moving on, I have two records from the Rhino High Fidelity series. This first one is Herbie Hancock with Crossings. And this is less of a jazz album and more of a jazz odyssey. Track one takes up the whole side of the record. And if all you know of Herbie is his more pop stuff, you need to check this out. He and the band get out there into some very avant-garde places. I admit that this isn't for everyone, but it's totally worth listening to at least once. Now, this is part of the Rhino High Fidelity audiophile series. These are high quality pressings. This is an all analog remaster done by Kevin Gray. It's pressed onto 180 gram vinyl. It is limited to 5,000 copies. They are each foil stamped, numbered on the back. And the printing on here is very high quality. It's tip-on sleeve with heavy cardstock, all around a quality pressing. So if you're looking for a reissue, you might as well check this one out. It is really, really, really well done. Okay, so Rhino High Fidelity knocked it out of the park once again with the third studio album by the Doobie Brothers. This is The Captain and Me, originally released in 1973. This is a classic album with a ton of great hits on here and some lesser known songs that should not be missed. I really enjoyed revisiting this record, and as someone who was born and raised in Northern California, I love seeing the Doobie Brothers shine a light on some of the unique aspects of living in that part of California. You can really hear that on the song Ukiah. So yeah, like I said, this is part of the Rhino High Fidelity series. This is an all analog remaster done by Kevin Gray. It's pressed onto 180 gram vinyl. I really like this included insert sheet that has a little bit about the album with some photo outtakes. You know, I went on Discogs and some people said that this is not the best sounding pressing you can get. However, I don't have another pressing to compare it to, so I thought this sounded quite well. And I think for the price point, this is really worth the money. So if you're out there looking for a new reissue of this album, definitely check out this pressing. It still sounds fresh 50 years later. This is Nation of Language with their third album, Strange Disciple. This came out in 2023 and it is fantastic. There is not a song you're going to want to skip on here. The synthesizers, the vocals, the drums, the lyrics, everything is top notch. And I love how they capture that classic 80s electro sound, but then they make it their own by mixing in elements of goth, shoegaze, and then these bittersweet lyrics are right on top. Oh, so good. And what's even cooler is that at the end of side one, there's a locked groove. So technically this record never ends on side one. I love that sound. I love little elements like that because that's what makes vinyl so cool to collect. Check it out, Nation of Language, out now. So DJ Shadow came back in 2023 with his 7th album. This is Action Adventure. I love this record. It is definitely a throwback album. It is a mostly instrumental hip hop record. There's no features on here whatsoever. It's just DJ Shadow. But what I really like about this album is that it is the economy of beats and chord progressions. It is simple, but yet it makes a big statement. It is less is more kind of a thing. And it feels oddly personal to DJ Shadow, even though I know nothing about the guy. It feels like it's coming from a very genuine place. This feels very much like a passion project. And I really, really like the stripped down approach. I really dig the sound of this album. It is so very good. And the whole idea of action adventure becomes more apparent with this particular pressing. This is the VHS edition. What I've read is that DJ Shadow named this after, you know, those of us of a certain age will remember browsing the video rental stores and going to like certain genre sections, and one of them was action adventure. So that's what this is harkening back to. And the vinyl comes on 2 different colors. And so along with the vinyl edition, there's also this special edition cassette release, and this is incredible. I love this. As if the title of the record wasn't apparent to you, this really sends it home. I mean, this is a cassette, but it's done after the VHS clamshells back in the day. I mean, the attention to detail is just glorious on this. And even the cassette, it's got printing to be a VHS tape. It is incredible. I love this so very much. Yeah, I can't recommend this enough. If you collect cassettes, you definitely want to check this one out. So this is Ray Barretto with his 1973 album, and it is incredible. I love this record. This is sort of the unofficial 50th anniversary repress done by Craft Recordings. It's an all analog mastering done by Kevin Gray. It's pressed on a 180 gram vinyl, and it sounds fantastic. And I really love the attention to detail, especially with the mimicking the original record labels here. Just a great album. And it's like you put it on and you can't help but get up and dance. However you can, check this album out. And the cover is fantastic. You gotta love Ray. So the South Hill Experiment was one of my favorite artists of 2023, and this is their second album, Sunstrikes. They skillfully blend post-punk, prog rock, psychedelia, and infuse it with their childlike curiosity and whimsy to create a sound that is all their own. I can't get enough of this duo, who also happen to be brothers. These guys are highly creative and have a great sense of rhythm and melodies. And what I really like is that they include this manifesto in the record, and I love this part where it says, remember what you love about music. That just so resonates for me, and that's what I really like about this record. I love this album because it reminds me of what I love about music. It's that you never know what's going to come next, that surprise, that emotional push and pull that it does when music really moves me. And I highly encourage you to see them live if you get the chance, but at the very least, listen to their music however you can. But for me, the coolest part is when they sent me this record, it came with a press release, and I actually made the press release. I'm in this photo right here because I saw them live on this rooftop. It was so cool. Check them out. This is a really cool experimental improvised album by Alabaster dePlume. This is his 6th studio album, and it was born out of sessions that took place in 2020, where he invited his friends and other musicians to record with him, but they weren't given any sheet music ahead of time, nor were they allowed to listen to the playback of these recordings. And I gotta say, this record is incredibly coherent and accessible. It's warm, soothing, and haunting all at the same time. And I'm pretty surprised that this was largely improvised because it sounds so good. If you're a fan of jazz music or saxophone music in general, I say check this album out. It came out in 2023, and it's on International Anthem Recording Company, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite independent record labels. So this is my friend's band, First Boy in the Moon. This is their second album, Cybergirl, and it is fantastic. If you are a fan of early 80s new wave rock bands, this is going to be right up your alley. It is incredibly well produced, recorded. David and the rest of the band, which includes Derek and Andy, are fantastic musicians, and they really crafted some very catchy songs. It's an overall feel-good record. I loved every minute of it. highly encourage you to check it out. This is independently recorded, produced, and released by David. And, you know, I think it's fantastic. This is new for 2024. Check it out however you can. So it's pretty impressive to me that the Residents are still going strong in 2021, and this is a live version of their 1978 EP called Duck Stab, which sold so well they ended up re-releasing it as an LP, but this is a 2021 box set, and what this includes is the live version of the EP pressed onto two 10-inch records cut at 45 RPM. You also get a DVD that features the band performing the EP live as part of the 40th anniversary of the TV show turned streaming service Night Flight. If you're unfamiliar with the music of the Residents or you only know them by name, this is a very accessible release, and I think it's a great introduction into their avant-garde sound. So however you choose to check them out, I highly encourage you to do so. The Residents, they're unlike any other band out there.
What's a woman going to do with all your bread? Her feet are feeling funny as she lies beneath the bed.
So this is a band I had not heard of, and if you enjoy punk, garage rock, and grunge, then this is a band for you. They are called The Pleasure Dome, and this is their debut album for 2023. It's called Equinox, and they are a band from Bristol, and what they deliver on this album is nothing short of incredible music. I instantly fell in love with it the first time I dropped the needle, and what I really like about this album is the dynamics. Yes, they have this punk-infused intensity, crunchy, distorted guitars, but there's also these moments of clarity, of quietness. It's not all in your face all of the time, which I really enjoyed. There's some nuance to this album. So however you can, I highly encourage you to check them out.
Pass the parcel, pass the parcel.
So last up, this is one of the most interesting albums I heard in 2023. This is Modern Nature with their album No Fixed Point in Space. Now, Modern Nature is primarily the work of Jack Cooper, and he lists some very talented musicians to create these compositions with him. And it's like one part folk music, but then one part instrumental contemporary classical music. It's a really cool mix, and it really does blur the line. It feels very organic, like it's coming from nature itself. It's quite magical to listen to. There's this slow, deliberate feel about it, but there's also this tension because it's like you're not really sure where this record's gonna go. And there's also this feeling like maybe the musicians also don't know where it's gonna go. They're all sort of just like listening to each other, playing off of each other, and it's a really beautiful record to put on, especially at the end of the day. It's very calming. It's like a comfort food. You can pay attention to it or you can have it on in the background, and it just creates a very warm, inviting feeling. If you're looking for something to chill out to, I highly recommend listening to Modern Nature. It's out now on Bella Union Records. All right, everybody, that will do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching the return of Awesome Finds. The people have spoken. My members over on Patreon really wanted this series back, so it's going to stay. But I will continue to do the short form version of that. So basically, you will see shorts of the individual releases I talked about, 1-minute reviews, basically. I put those out on TikTok as well as Instagram. So you can watch those there. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the return of this series, what you think of the shorts, as well as the releases that I featured in today's video. Until then, thank you again for watching, but I especially want to thank my members over on Patreon. I'm your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side.